So I got my hands on some really nice anamorphic lenses again, thanks to Johnny Knox, and naturally I had to make something cool with them. Lucky for me, Johnny just dropped his new merch and wanted to make an ad for him. But instead of a typical video where he's just wearing the hats, looking cool or whatever, we made a satirical perfume style commercial. And this is what happened. You know how perfume commercials are super over the top and literally don't make any sense at all? There's always some guy or girl walking around looking sexy but in a sort of awkward and uncomfortable way. Then the storyline is trying to be there, but the editing brings you on a journey that feels like an acid trip, and by the end a product shot comes up and a central voice whispers some foreign sounding word into your ear and you're left wondering how you got to where you are and what even happened. So we decided to do exactly that, and we only had one day to do it. We started a mood board and researched some perfume commercials and found they often had a terrible voiceover style interview where they really say nothing at all.
If you're just saying, you can kind of say, like, I'm a man and it's kind of all about me, but if you're saying, like, I'm your man, you're basically giving someone your life.
Oh, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. And because Johnny's a musician, he really wanted to write the music and voiceover for it. So that night, he literally wrote and recorded the whole thing.
What is it? Where is it? Snap. Snap. A
little bit quicker.
Where do you run? When you're scared, it's a desire.
I like that. That was good.
And all you need is
that right?
You're ready to go!
What the hell?
And we wanted it to sound super professional, obviously, so we sent it off to Paul, Johnny's go-to mix and master guy, and he made it sound absolutely incredible. Now we just needed a location. Luckily, Johnny has some pretty cool family members, and one of his uncles is an architect, artist extraordinaire, and has a super vibey house. So we secured the house and decided to film in different parts of it for different scenes of the video to maximize that one location. Here's the sections we used. We had the gray wall, mid-century man cave, Parisian garden, dilapidated pool, and the pine tree forest. We also had bookshelf hallway, but we didn't use any of that footage. Things got a little weird in there. We showed up to the house, I drank my special filmmaking smoothie, and we got to work on the gray wall. I did a basic lighting setup here with the 600D outside acting as sunlight with a spotlight attachment and the blinds gobo in it to give that sexy blind shadow on the wall. If you don't know what a gobo is, it's these little inserts you can put into a spotlight or any other kind of holder, and it creates shapes with your lights. Then to wrap the light around Johnny, I put up the Amaran F22C sort of in front of him, but still window side, and I hazed it up for some atmosphere, and that was it. Spotlight outside really helped flare the lens and give us that perfume commercial look. After that, we moved on to the mid-century man cave. This room was so random, but an absolute vibe. It had this really retro wood paneling and shag carpet, so I really wanted to utilize that. First shot was against the paneling in a chair with the hat spinning on the turntable. So again, I started by trying to put the 600D with the spotlight attachment outside the window, but let's just say it was a struggle. Once I figured that one out, I put the blinds gobo in there again, even though there weren't any blinds in the shop, but I just banked on people not noticing. Then I threw up the F22 again with a grid to fill Johnny in, and that was that. I shifted that setup to the center of the room, aimed at the carpet, and we got some really cool looking shots here. Next up, we went outside to the backyard where it felt like a Parisian garden. First thing I did was set up the 600D with the F10 Fresnel as a flare factory behind Johnny off frame left to give him a rim light plus create some juicy flares as I moved around him. Then I had the 300X with the spotlight plus a foliage gobo in it to create some texture behind Johnny like the sun was coming through a tree or something. Other than that, it was bright enough to fill Johnny in on frame right, and we got to work. And then it was time to film at the dilapidated pool. Johnny insisted on doing a front flip into it, but I said that's a really bad idea, so we compromised and he fell in backwards instead. There was a sketchy rotted tarp that we would hope would break his fall. It did. We didn't light this one because we were racing against the sun as we had one more location to shoot. My plan was to fall with Johnny, and as the camera hit the ground, it would transition into an underwater sequence. So to keep my camera from breaking, I just laid my tripod case on the ground and sort of fell into that. The last location of the day was this pine tree forest, and we were racing against the sun, so I didn't really get a whole lot of BTS of this, except for this photo my wife snagged. So, you would think we'd be done, but we forgot to film the underwater scenes because it was a long day and we hadn't eaten anything all day, and we got a little distracted with craft beer and cheeseburgers. So yeah, technically we didn't film this all in one day, but the main portions of the video and like 90% of it was filmed in that one day. Plus, it really came down to like a scheduling conflict with the pool we were using, so don't worry about it. Johnny's other uncle, who also has a wild house, had the pool we shot in. So we shot there for about an hour or two and got some really good stuff.
Here's the nuts.
I used this $50 waterproof bag in my Sony FX3 with a 24-70 on it. For lighting, I shot the 600D with the spotlight attachment behind Johnny and the 300X from the side to kind of fill him in. It ended up giving us a really dreamy underwater look. So yeah, that's how we did it. If you haven't seen the video yet, go check it out on my channel. It's the video right before this on my uploads. I think we really captured the beauty and absurdity that is a perfume commercial. And we got to market Johnny's hats. So go show him some support, buy a hat, and thanks for coming on this journey with me, guys. Peace.